Hi guys, I'm Chantel, and today I wanted to take you on a tour of my TBR, but we're going by specifically my fantasy TBR. These are pretty much all books I own that are fantasy that I want to read soon. They're not all on my TBR cart. Some of them are off of my shelf and haven't graduated to going onto my TBR cart yet, but fantasy is one of the genres I've been quite enjoying in this last year, and so I thought it would be fun to go through, look at my unread books, and see what I have in each genre that I really enjoy, and then create a video sharing the books that are on there. So we're going to start with fantasy, and to be totally honest here, I'm playing a little loose with this term fantasy. I think some of these are probably more the science fiction genre, and one I'm not even sure what the genre is exactly, but it's got what seems like some fantasy elements to me. So fantasy-ish TBR. Also, one thing to note is I did not include books on this stack that I have started the series because I feel like that would just get overwhelming. So these are either first in a series or standalones. We're going to start with the only one on here that I have actually a library copy of, and it's got a hair in it. That kind of grosses me out from the library. This is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. The reason I want to get to this one is because of the next book, but this is, I think it's a standalone, although it seems like Sanderson kind of starts books as standalones and then graduates them into series as he goes. But all I really know is this has something to do with, I think the powers are related to colors. I don't know anything else. I do know this takes place in his Cosmere, his world, I guess. I don't really know. I haven't ventured into, I feel like I haven't really graduated into true Sanderson yet. This is kind of like going to be my step up, because this winter I really want to read The Way of Kings and the entire Stormlight Archive. Once again, I don't really know much about this fantasy world of Sanderson's for a good reason. I don't want to, but everyone loves Sanderson. My husband read these earlier this year, loved them as well, and his book 4, I think, is coming out right away here, and we have these mass market paperback editions because they were cheaper, and the new one only comes out in big hardcover, so we might have to graduate and get all our books in hardcover. So the reason I wanted to read Warbreaker first is because I hear there's like some characters maybe from here that come up in here, and maybe from some of his other books. I'm not really sure, but I think it would be fun to be able to see like the threads from one book that's kind of completely unrelated come up in another book. Yeah, so this is kind of my goal for the winter, is to at least start the series. I mean, this book is 1,200 pages, and I think the other ones are all longer or about the same at least. So they might be like multi-month books while I also read a bunch of other books at the same time. This next one is the book that really like toes the line. I tried looking it up, and it kind of, apparently according to Amazon, is in the suspense genre, but this is Spare and Found Parts. I totally bought this book based off of the cover. I thought it was gorgeous. So I think from the little bit that I know about it, our main character is a female whose her father somehow built her a new heart or something, and she wants him to build a whole person for her out of spare and found parts. I don't know anything more than that, other than this was a pretty cover. Incarceron is really high on my TBR because there's a couple of you who keep getting on my case every TBR and telling me I have to read this one. Hopefully I can make it work for November, but we'll have to see. This, I guess Incarceron is a place, and it's a prison, and it says this prison is alive. Based on the cover, it looks a little steampunky to me, but honestly don't have a clue. I own book 1 and book 2, so I should really get into these as soon as possible, hopefully November. This next one, once again, I think also science fiction, but I feel like they're so related and I don't have enough science fiction here to like have a separate TBR. This is C.S. Lewis's Out of the Silent Planet. This is book 1 in his trilogy. Book 1 is super short, and then I think like book 3 is like huge. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine. I wish authors would like even out their books. They feel like if they're part of a series, they should be generally the same length each, especially if it's just a trilogy, then you can manage that. I don't know anything about this. This is kind of a theme. Honestly, I really don't like knowing what's in the books, because then why read them? But I'm hoping that you guys can like tell me which ones I should pick up first, which ones I should prioritize. I definitely know I want to read this entire trilogy. This next one is Vicious. I got this one from the thrift store a few months ago and would like to read it. From reading the back, it sounds quite a bit like Frankenstein, except we've got, I think, like college roommates who kind of decide to try to figure out how someone can develop supernatural abilities. Sounds interesting. The cover looks perfect for this time of year, so it's not even on my TBR cart yet. I might have to bump that to my TBR cart for winter. This next one is one I've started, and it was like too fantastical for me, and I stopped it, and that is Peter Nimble and His Fantastic Eyes. I've heard so many good things about this book, though. I feel like I need to actually read it. I got my daughter to read it. Normally, if something is too fantastical for me, generally she'll enjoy it, but she even said it was pretty out there, but she did say the ending was good. So I feel like, well, then I can push through and hopefully read this. This one is middle grade. I think I have a couple middle grade here, a couple YA, and a couple adult, so they're kind of all over the place. The next one might be kind of like magic realism a little bit. Honestly, there's maybe very few like full-on fantasy books here, but that is The Snow Child. I got this one last winter and really wanted to read it then and didn't get to it, so I've been leaving it until this winter. I think this is about a childless couple who somehow find a child wandering in the woods and kind of adopt her. I think it's a girl, but I don't really know more than that. I'm not sure. At first when I heard about it, I thought I'd really like it, and then the more I've heard about it, the less I feel like I'm gonna like it, but I want to like it, so hopefully. Then I have another middle grade one, and that is Winter House. Another one I wanted to read last winter, didn't get to, need to get to this year. I love the decoration with the dust jacket and how, you know, it has cutouts. I love attention to detail like that. I actually own all 3 books in this series, so really want to at least start the series this winter. This one sounded very similar to Green Glass House to me. I think it's set in a hotel out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't really know what all happens because I don't like to, but I just love the illustrations and it just looks like a cute and fun read for the winter. And the last one, when I originally hauled this book a couple months ago, I got a lot of comments about it and I was debating whether or not I actually want to read it. This is also a trilogy, and I think my plan is to at least start it. This is His Dark Materials. So it has the Golden Compass, the Subtle Knife, and the Amber Spyglass. From what I've heard, the author has, if I'm getting this correct, now I don't remember exactly, it's kind of his take on trying to kill God or something like that. And at first I was like, well, I don't want to read that because like God can't be killed. But then at the same time, it's also like interesting to study what other people think. So I think my plan is to at least start this book slash trilogy and then decide if I want to continue it. This might also create some good discussion here. I'm not sure. We'll see. But I also have his next one after this is called, or I don't even know if it's related, but it's called The Book of Dust. And people said you have to read this first, so it must be somewhat related. Yeah, no idea what to expect here. Kind of hesitant about this, but at the same time, intrigued as well. So there you have it. That is my fantasy TBR. I read from a variety of genres. When I was going through like all the books that I have that I haven't read, I realized like there's not a ton in each genre because there's so many different ones. But if you like this idea of a specific look at all the different books I have in one genre that I want to read in the next little while, let me know. And then I was thinking of maybe doing like historical fiction next, because I have quite a few that are either historical fiction or like historical fiction with a fantasy twist. Thought I would kind of put those together. And then I have a decent amount of like mystery suspense kind of books as well that I could do one on. Yeah, so let me know. And also let me know which one of these you've read and really liked, or which ones I should prioritize. Thanks again for watching, guys.